Okay guys, welcome back. This week we're going to talk a little bit about how we can add on to our stories that we've been working on for realistic fiction. Now in class we talk about how when you're done, you've just begun. So I wanted to talk to you about 3 ways that we've discussed in class that we can bring our stories to life. The first one we have is unfreezing people. How do we do it? We tell how they move, we make them talk, because we know that characters in a story aren't just standing still. They're doing things and they're talking to each other. The second way is to tell small steps. Tell what happens with lots of details. Sometimes in our stories, we tell kind of the big things that happen, but we have to remember that since we're writing a story and we want our reader to picture it in their minds, we have to tell them itsy bitsy details. The third way that we can bring our story to life is by bringing the inside out. We do that by telling how characters are feeling and thinking about what's going on inside of them and how are their inside thoughts. So the first thing I have to do is I have to go back into my writing and I have to look at my pages as a reader and think about how I could use some of these strategies to help bring it to life. So I want to take a look at my first page. Now last week I was writing about Brody and Sophia Crossington. So here's what my first page says. Brody and Sophia Crossington left school at the end of the day. And I was thinking this might be a good place that I could use one of these moments to bring the story to life. I could unfreeze them, I could bring the inside out. I think I might put something about how they're feeling. So thinking about kids at the end of the school day, Brody and Sophia Crossington left school at the end of the day. They were excited. That way I let my reader know how they're feeling on the inside. And I'm also doing this with another marker so that I can go back through and kind of see how my story is growing through the weeks. Their mom said they could go to the playground for a little bit after school. Brody climbed the monkey bars and Sophia read a book under the slide. The page has a lot of movement and I think it's got a lot of information, so I'm going to leave that one for now and go to my next one and see if there's any way I can bring this page to life. Sophia went to see what Brody was doing. She set her book down under the slide. If Sophia's going to see what Brody's doing, I wonder if this might be a good place for me to unfreeze with some talking. I'm going to add that in here and I'm just going to tuck it in between these 2 sentences that I have. Sophia asked, "What are you doing?" Question mark. She set her book down under the slide. And I'm going to also take this moment to add some movement. She walked to the monkey bars to see Brody. So on this page, I've added some talking to unfreeze, and I've added some movement, and I've also taken the time to tell some itsy bitsy steps. I'm telling all of the little things that Sophia is doing in just that one single page. It started to rain. Sophia and Brody went home. I feel like this is a page where I can add some good details to it. And I'm thinking that maybe adding some feeling to this page too. If I look at the picture, I even put some facial expressions on them. Looks like Brody's kind of surprised. They look a little bit worried. I'm going to say they didn't want to get wet. Oops. I'm even going to add some more movement. They didn't want to get wet. So they ran, not just went, they ran as fast as they could. Now, I'm going to keep up this process for the rest of my story. I'm going to continue to add some of my things to unfreeze them, tell how they moved, make them talk. I'm going to make sure that I'm telling my story in itsy bitsy steps so that my reader can picture it in their minds and they can visualize. And then I'm going to work to bring the inside out. I'm going to tell my reader how my characters are feeling and what they're thinking. And sometimes the details that you put in your pictures might actually help you to add some details into your writing. So your job this week is to go back through your realistic fiction story, read it again as a reader, and then think about how you could use some of these strategies in your own writing to make your story even better for your reader.